Happy Micro Monday. I'm going to demonstrate the Catalase lab, which is going to probably be one of your favorites because it's a really simple procedure. You're basically checking to see which bacterial species have the enzyme catalase. And the way we check it is by dropping hydrogen peroxide directly onto the bacteria, and if it bubbles, it means that the bacteria produces catalase and is able to convert what would be the toxic hydrogen peroxide into something less toxic. And if it doesn't have the catalase, it can't convert the hydrogen peroxide chemically and does not bubble. So as you can see, it's an aseptic technique, so I'm just cleaning off my loop. You're going to do 3 species, probably E. coli, B. subtilis, and K. rhizophilia. I'm just going to do E. coli quickly, just the one, but since you're going to do 3, I'll remind you that you may want to label your slides before you get started, just to keep them straight. Also, as always, I encourage you to keep your 3 slides maybe in alpha order, from left to right. You could do your B. subtilis, your E. coli, and then have your K. rhizo on the right in case the hydrogen peroxide or any other part of the process wipes off your label. Just keeping them in alphabetical order and save you some trouble. Okay. Getting my loop, aseptic. Open up my E. coli. You're going to be working with slants. So each group is going to have 3 slants, 1 for each bacteria type. I'm going to touch it on the side to cool it off. I'm going to just scrape it to grab some of the bacteria. Pick up the microscope slide, and no water needed, no drop of water. It's not a stain. I'm just going to put it directly on the slide like that. I'm going to clean off my loop. I'm going to flame the top of my tube back down, my loop down. Okay, you're going to have these dropper bottles of hydrogen peroxide. You're just going to put a couple drops right on your smear. Okay. And again, if it bubbles, this is a good reaction. You'll know it's a catalase positive species, meaning this bacteria, this is E. coli, can produce catalase. Nice and bubbly. This is a really dramatic reaction when it's a strong reaction, and there's also a difference between immediate reaction and a slow reaction. There's not really a weak reaction. So with this lab, I'm trying to identify the catalase positive and the catalase negative. When in doubt, it's probably negative, because it's usually, again, a pretty strong bubbling reaction, kind of like, soda water or Alka-Seltzer, very bubbly. Once you're done with your smears, you're completely done. You can drop the hydrogen peroxide directly into your tube. That'll produce a much larger reaction since that's got more bacteria inside the culture. But that effectively ruins your culture. You can't use it after you do that. So that's maybe something that might be useful to you when you use catalase in your unknowns as a test to distinguish between bacteria species. And I'll remind you when we get there that you have that option. But again, you can add the hydrogen peroxide directly to the tube to have a more definitive reaction when in doubt. So even though I'm having you put it directly on the slides for this lab, just remember in your unknowns, you have this other alternative. Okay, I will see you in lab tomorrow.